Welcome to the PT Legends podcast, where co-host Dave Bess and myself, Scott Carpenter, share our journey and secrets of success. From our humble beginnings as personal training employees of a big box gym to struggling studio owners that have made every mistake in the book, to where we are now, the owners of a multi-seven-figure business operating multiple personal training studios internationally, and now coach and mentor to fitness professionals in 5 countries and counting. This is our story, and these are our secrets. Subscribe to our podcast, learn, take action, and build your own fitness empire. Welcome back to the PT Legends podcast. I am your host, Scott.
Big Dave, clocking back in. Today, we've got a good one, $200,000 lessons for independent personal trainers. And Dave, you were an independent personal trainer paying rent back in the day, weren't you? That's how we met, brother. Like before we jumped on this thing, we were talking about my story. I guess it was 2011. It's weird. A weird fun fact about Dave. I know what years like significant events happened based off of the St. Louis Blues. So I remember 2011, they played the LA Kings in the playoffs. So like my mind goes back to those days. Gosh. That was a dogfight being the independent personal trainer.
Yeah, it is for most. And well, in our studios, because eventually, guys, you know, Dave, that's how we met. I took over, I bought a personal training studio, the second one. I bought one, rebranded, all that kind of stuff. And Dave was an independent personal trainer paying $600 a month?
$600 a month.
$600 a month?
Yes, it's $500 to $600 a month.
And to Underground Fitness then at the time. And then we clicked and we just knew at some point we worked together. And so when my GM left to move to Colorado, it's like, Big Dave, you want to do this? And he went all and just crushed it and then became business partners on a whole nother level, you know, so that's our background together. But Dave knows intimately that being an independent personal trainer and that particular studio in Arrowhead had a lot of independents paying rent. I don't even remember all their names or anything like that. But I remember it was a struggle collecting rent from them.
Oh my gosh. And I'm just thinking back to those, like it was a struggle for me paying rent, like back in those days. I think, and this is the thing with a lot of independent personal trainers, like I moved to Arizona and I announced from a mountain that I was never going to work for anyone. I was like, I'm going to do this thing on my own. Now, looking back, or like what we know now, you can crush it as the independent personal trainer.
Yeah.
Doing it the traditional way, though, holy crap, that is a recipe I don't think anyone can properly put together and bake a cake that comes out right.
No, and I've seen failure after failure after failure after failure because, you know, I work for Lifetime Fitness and I worked in the Scottsdale location in Arizona as a trainer, as an assistant manager. Then I went to the Goodyear location to run the department. And so many of those Lifetime trainers, you know, they get to the point where they're bringing in 6 to 10K in revenue, right, a month. And then they're like, okay, well, Lifetime's taking how much? So let me just leave Lifetime where I don't have to deal with the bullshit anymore. And let me find a space to rent for $600 to $1,200 a month. Let me pay my rent and I'll take home all this money. And so many of them left by doing that stuff. And some of them are doing okay. The vast majority aren't, because while you might have $8,000 a month that you're taking with you, well, here's the problem is that even your most loyal customers who you had for 3 years, sometimes they're going to get sick and they're going to have to stop. Sometimes they're going to get promoted and they're going to move away. Or they're just going to get bored, or they have a financial setback, or they got to go take care of their mother, right, in a different state and they can't do it anymore. You will always lose people, even the people that you think you can never lose. That will happen. And here's the thing, as an independent contractor, like when things are good, they're really good. But when things are bad, they suck. And you know that.
Oh man, you lose. It's always trends, right? But I remember as an independent, you'd lose one client and like I had a really tight group, but every time you lose one, you lose 4. It's just that 4 to and they pop like that. And then you're like panic mode. Okay.
And this was even, shoot, well, I don't even know if social media was still around then. It's like, where am I going to find the next person at?
Yeah.
Like it was like the highs were so high, but then the lows were so low. So there's no like fine-tuned line to where there's no consistency at all.
Yeah. Things can be great. And then next month you're like, holy shit, how do I pay my bills?
Yep.
Because you lose 4. That's a massive chunk. Massive chunk.
You always say this, but in gym owners, personal trainers, the math doesn't add up. So let's just say lifetime personal trainer, they're charging what, 100 a session, and you see X dollars from that. But here's the thing: when you transition and go all in on the independent route, let's say that you keep the rate the same, it's still a losing battle. Yeah. If you're charging $100 for a one-on-one personal training session, with maybe a lot of independent trainers are like, hell yeah, teach me how to do that. Trust me, you don't even want to know how to do that. You don't even want to do, because do the math, guys. Get up at 4:15 a.m., then grinding it out, trying to get to the studio on time, and then doing a one-on-one. And then you try to go home, take a crap, and eat some lunch, and then you drive back to the studio and one-on-one. Like that's that battle to where you're training what? Let's just say 6 to 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then you do 4 hours weekends on Saturday. Yeah. And so all of a sudden your training hours, you're counting your reps 50 to 60 hours a week in that one-on-one. Even at that $100 price point, like you're literally going to burn out and hate yourself.
It doesn't
you're going to hate you're going to hate your clients, because using a traditional I'm going to count your rep model, they don't follow through. So the frustration comes out on all ends.
All ends. And forget about taking a vacation, right? Because it's not only getting the time away, but how much money does the vacation cost? How much money are you forgoing by going on the vacation? And guys, even when I worked for Lifetime, I didn't take a vacation in forever, because like I can't go without that income. And it gets really hard. So, and so many of you that do build up something and leave, a lot of times you're going to travel for a client or two. You'll travel to the house, and you've got travel time there, and you've got travel time back. And those are times when you can't take on other people, and your life sucks. It is dictated at your client's whims, and when they need to reschedule, you will burn out fast and hard. And most of the independent personal trainers wasn't able to keep up paying me rent. They would ask to pay me late or less, or then they stop because they just ran out of clients over and over and over. Now, Dave and I and my gyms, they're successful enough where we don't even accept independent personal trainers. We get asked a lot, but it's not worth it. Like that revenue is not worth having other people occupy our space. So we don't accept them. That being said, there are a lot of places that still accept independent personal trainers, paying on a percentage or a flat fee, something like that. And knowing what we know now and what we have discovered, you can crush it with this. Let's take Austin Garber out of Chico, California. He came to us maybe 3 to 4 months ago-ish, something like that, right?
Yep.
And he had just quit his PT job. Wasn't the best employer situation. It was a small business. He had a few people interested in continuing with him, but we had helped him find a place to rent, right, and all that stuff. And he comes to our PT Legends calls. He is the first one on every single time. So he's talking to us multiple times a week. And then we're guiding him through on how to kind of build his business, create his following in his local area. The guy's crushing it. So I just spoke to him last week, and he's up to $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month, which is crazy. And the point that we need to make, because we're going to give you some key takeaways, these $200,000 lessons minimum, don't work one-on-one. And I know for personal trainers, you're like, well, that's what it is.
That's what personal training is.
That's what it is, right? Don't do it. And don't do the cheap large group crap either. Use an overlapping or a layered personal training model, or semi-private if that's easier for you to conceptualize. There's small differences. We're not going to get into the details here. But you need to be able to work with more than one person one-on-one. You can still deliver one-on-one level service, even though you're working with 2, 3, 4 people at the same time. Think of it like if you have a husband and a wife that come and want to train with you at the same hour, you can handle them both, right? You're going to give them just slightly different things. That's all you got to do. It's that easy, except those two people aren't married. You think you can handle that? Yes, you can. Okay. But don't work one-on-one. Even for what we charge around $111 and up, right? For our overlapping non-one-on-one sessions, right? Even $111. We used to sell our private training then for $222 a session. It's not even worth it because we can only work with one person at a time. You should be making over $400 an hour. That is how you do it as an independent personal trainer. It's what you have to do. So yeah, first lesson, don't do one-on-one. You're trading time for dollars. There's only so many. How many hours do you want to work in a day? You are going to absolutely limit your growth. 100%. And so Austin started with that model right off the bat, which is great. And he attends all our calls. He's learning so much in sales. He's learning how to command a price point, right? He's not even there yet to what he should be charging because he's starting from he's 21 years old, guys. Not a ton of experience in this, but he's been incrementally raising his prices by a good amount now. I say incrementally. They're actually massive double-digit percentages from what he was doing. But he's just finally bringing in this high-ticket price point. Finally. But guys, he's already doing $10K a month. And I think the earliest he starts is it 10 a.m. now or 11?
Yeah, I don't think he does any early morning shifts.
Oh, so, no, none.
He's
none.
Less than 20 hours a week training time.
I want to say it's either 10, 11, or 12 where he starts. So he basically just the evenings.
Yep.
And now we're going to get him to hire for the early mornings because why would if you're making that? I mean, he's just 10K a month is just his starting point.
Oh, and he's not even
just a starting point.
Yet. Yeah, he's just now starting the adventure. That's the scary part.
Yeah. And this is how he's doing, guys. But he's doing everything that Dave is telling him to do. With the content production to engage his local market, to niche down, and so people connect with his message. He is signing people up left and right in this overlapping model. And I mean, his training hours are not many a day at all. And he starts late.
And that's what allows him to build this movement. This was my pain point as an independent personal trainer. There's only, and as a trainer, how much gas, how much energy, if you're doing your job in that one-on-one setting. And so doing that 8 to 12 hours a week, there's nothing left in the tank for you to do any content or any DMing. And it rolls into just your family and friends. So the F's, I talk about freedom all the time. That fries your freedom, period.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the biggest reasons that Austin is just now starting is he still has all this time on the time clock to now introduce the mentoring program, which is literally going to double his revenue in the next 6 months. It will literally double it because now we've taught him this really nice base of, okay, you're a leader, you're a guide, you're a coach, but he's only 21. So it's taking him, he's having to soak that in to become that mentor. But you've talked to the kid, man. I mean, he's a completely different person in 12 weeks just because we're teaching him a skill set and he understands now, wait a second, my clients need more than workouts and nutrition. That's as a 21-year-old. So when you layer that, okay, well, I'm going to just switch over and use an overlapping PT model. That by itself will change your life. But then adding on that mentoring program for the clients that come in that have real issues, that weight represents something. And for Austin, he's identified that he loves working with single moms. So we've crafted his message towards that to where he's having now all of these single moms because he knows that pain point better than anybody. So now he's having those conversations. He's going to have this mentoring on top of that.
Yeah.
And so he'll build some online with that too. That's the beautiful part with this.
He's 4 months into this and he's going to clear $100,000.
Yep.
And he's 21. Absurd. You got to hand it to him though. He was referred to us by Cody Sweet, right? And Cody Sweet owns a cardio kickboxing, fitness kickboxing place. But, and Austin's like, man, I need to find out who knows how to do this. And Cody's like, you need to talk to these guys. And you got to give him credit. He sought out who has the answers. He asked us. He started working with us. And this is
what's happened as a result. And at 21 years old, I was a dumbass. I wasn't even that concerned with success at that point. I was too egotistical to even figure out who's doing it and who knows these answers that I don't know. And you got to give it to him. I mean, he is so smart in advance for his age. It's unbelievable. He's going to be more successful than all of us because he's starting at 21.
Sure. Yeah, he started. I was a dumbass at 30. So he's got a 15-year head start on us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. Like, we're teaching him, we say it all the time, Scott, like it's the future of fitness. It's specifically for independent trainers, which that speaks to my soul, because I don't think I've ever told you this. When I initially joined Underground Fitness, and I would probably say I was probably in the 1% of independent trainers. Like, I had a pretty good following, but I took 2 weeks off for Christmas, went home on the family farm. This is when I was dating Carrie. I had no idea why she stuck around. I was down to my last $14 in my bank account that December, dude. Damn. And because I took 2 weeks off because I wanted to spend time with my family. And I paid off my bills, paid off the mortgage, and Carrie was buying me Charmin toilet paper. So, man, I know these pain points. And the only way you're going to survive as an independent trainer is if you shift over to an overlapping PT model and you have a real solution for your clients that need it most.
Absolutely. You have to command a premium price for what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I know it's scary. And I know in that consultation, you need that client so bad and that revenue so bad that you're willing to do the discounts. But you just have to learn how to charge a premium rate and how to deliver a premium service, which is not just the workouts, guys. As Dave was saying, it's bolting on a coaching or mentoring program, a high-ticket transformation program, because people need more than the workouts. They need more than the workouts. There's nothing magical you can do in 3 to 4 hours a week working them out that are going to solve all their problems. They're not even coming to you to work out. That's what they think they're coming for. But guys, there's 168 hours in the week. 3 hours with you isn't going to change shit. It's all about the 165 other hours in the week. That is what you need to sell. That is why they're going to pay you $111 in a session and up, because you're solving their actual problem. So that's it, guys. Don't do one-on-one. Okay? Don't do cheap-ass large group. Use a semi-private and overlapping format or some sort of a small group. Charge a premium price. And at some point, guys, if you do this and you do it well and you learn these things, get your own studio. It's not difficult. I know that's Austin's next step. He's not going to be far off from it either. Then you get to have time, right? You get time back because you get leverage, because then you're going to hire employees to do some of your work for you. You're going to get leverage. You're going to get time back. Dave and I, all the studios that we own, we're owner absentee. We don't work in them anymore. And they make us a lot of money because we spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, time, invested in a lot of coaching, our education to make that happen. So that's way more than $200,000 worth of lessons, because we left millions on the table by not finding these things out for many, many, many years.
So they didn't exist. We had to create it.
Yeah, there's that too, right? It wasn't quite as easy to find information in the internet those days, and this stuff didn't exist. The model that we created, it's a Frankenstein baby of learning from all these different people and then putting into a brick and mortar fitness business model. So that's it, guys. If you want to learn more about this and how we do it, just go to ptlegends.com. Okay. Go there. You can find a lot of information. You find links to our podcast. You can put in your information. You can get on our email list. You can book a call with us if you really want to know more. And soon we'll have some free masterclasses and webinars up there as well. So go to ptlegends.com, get educated, learn how to not make the same mistakes that held us back for years. Thanks a lot, guys. Dave and myself, Scott, would love to thank you for tuning in and listening to the PT Legends podcast. You can get direct access to us by joining our free Facebook group. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/7-figure personal trainer. That's seven-figure personal trainer with the number 7. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep on learning and keep on living. Finally, if you picked up any tips whatsoever in this episode that you found helpful, be sure to leave us a review and tell us what you like best about it. Can't wait to see you on the next episode.